Welcome to your postnatal yoga practice. My name is Emma and I am here to offer you a 30-minute postnatal yoga practice with fit mums and friends. So welcome to your session. As I said, my name is Emma and my company is M Yoga, and I'll be here to offer you postnatal yoga with fit mums and friends. So welcome. A word that's been coming up for me a lot over the past few days and that I taught my class with yesterday, the prenatal, is the word sanctuary. And it might seem a strange word to think of right now as we have a lot going on in the world. But the reason that came up for me, and I explained this yesterday, maybe you watched the prenatal yoga as well, is that in our garden every morning at the moment I see a female blackbird, and she's running and hopping and flying around and gathering up all these twigs and bits of grass and moss and all sorts to build her nest in the tree in our garden. And I was thinking about this yesterday after I taught the prenatal class about how much effort goes into building that nest. And once the birds have left, there's this beautifully delicate, intricately woven nest that will still be in our tree. And so today I invite you to honour and acknowledge your body, the postnatal body that has carried a baby or babies that are maybe sitting or lying or sleeping next to you right now. And so I invite you today just to acknowledge the hard work that you put into that. As I see the blackbird every morning scooting around, getting ready for this arrivals. And then afterwards, it's very easy to forget all that hard work that you put in. So today's practice is really going to be about you moving your body. Last week we did some work with baby as well, but today it's going to really be focused around some time for you, creating this sanctuary, whether it's within the body, the mind, within your home. And if you re-watch this, it might be nice to have a quiet space. Maybe if you can get 20 or 30 minutes by yourself. I've lit a candle. I've got yoga mats, but you don't need a mat or any equipment for today's practice. Before we start, I'm going to share a reading with you from an amazing book called The Language of Yin. And I read this actually on the first class I did for Fit Mums a couple of weeks ago. It's titled A Blessing for Yourself. So feel free to take a comfortable seat, either on a blanket, on your sofa, maybe you're in the garden right now, it's so beautiful outside, or you can lie the body down. If baby's with you, hug them close, or just enjoy this sanctuary of time for yourself. Before you begin your practice, bless yourself. Bless all of your past, your mistakes, your triumphs, all the decisions you have made to get to this point. Bless the times that you fell to your knees and the times you rose above yourself. Bless all of these moments. Bless this moment pregnant with possibility, hope and openness. Bless yourself for showing up here to practice, to learn, to grow and evolve. Bless yourself for trying no matter what the circumstances are. You are doing your best. Bless your courage, your strength. Bless all of your future, the lands and experiences that lay before you, the relationships that you are yet to have. Bless all of the outcomes of all the choices you make today, knowing that you are being guided and looked after. Bless all parts of yourself, all the sweetness, all the struggles. Bless yourself for being you. Take in a couple of moments there. Maybe you have the eyes closed still. Maybe bringing one hand to the heart or both hands to the heart, one to baby. And just take in a few long, very generous but also delicate breaths. Exhaling through the nose or the mouth, wherever feels right for you. Notice the shoulders, can they soften? The jaw, can it soften? And allow this practice to be a blessing for you. I'm going to move away on towards the mat now, and we're going to do some gentle movement through the body. The reason for the movement being gentle today is because you've just had a baby. Maybe you are exercising and out and about or in your garden doing some movement. But every now and again, I strongly believe for everybody's body, it's good to move gently. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm just going to move away on towards the mat. So as I said, you won't need any equipment today. I've got a blanket here and I do have a baby here just in case, but otherwise we're going to do this movement for you. So first of all, make sure you're comfortably sat. I'm just going to sit up on this blanket here. I find that sitting up on a blanket or a cushion really, really helps. I'm going to cross the legs, sit how you wish. You might have one leg stretched out. Main thing is we want to focus on, as I talk about in the prenatal yoga, it's just this little bit of length through the side body. In prenatal yoga, I focus on that quite a bit because space is borrowed. And today, really, it might be that you've sat, you might be back at work and have to sat at a desk or working from home. Maybe you own your own business. Also, when we hold baby or babies, the shoulders can round a little and bring a little tension into the neck. So we're going to focus on this. It's also a great focus for the moment, especially if maybe your job has transitioned and you're working from home with different desks and chairs and equipment. So I'm just going to cross my legs again, make sure you're sat comfortably, and you can probably do most of this bit up on a chair actually if you've got a comfortable chair. So I'm just going to take myself into a twist. I'm going to bring one hand to the opposite knee. So for example, I've got my right hand onto my left knee, and I'm going to bring the other hand behind me. Now you can have baby sat on your lap if you wish, or you can have baby out in front of you, hands on towards him or her. And again, I'm going to focus on your body today. Now as you come into this twist, turn to the shoulder that's moving behind you. And then let the chin roll in and ear to the other shoulder. So we're going to take about 4 rolls here. Now, if the neck feels particularly tight or tense, either refrain from doing this or just be very gentle in the movement. Well, be gentle anyway, but even more gentle in the movement. And I'll often exhale through the mouth. So we begin to create this quiet sanctuary. Little bit of movement, clearing a little bit of tension from the neck and maybe even in from the mind. Let's make this the last one. Rolling that chin in and just glancing over that shoulder. Good. You're going to keep that hand onto the knee, so you're not going to move that hand. The arm that's behind you though, we're going to take that up and over. So I'm going to reach the arm up and stretch. So as I've got hold of that knee, it's almost like I've got hold of the knee and I'm leaning away. So I've got my right hand onto my left knee, just in case you can't see me for any reason. My other arm is stretching up and I'm leaning. So I'm opening through the side body. Again, if you've got baby there, you can give them a little wave, a little tickle, a little smile. Otherwise, just getting this big stretch. And then as you've got hold of that knee, think of the underneath ribs, so the right side of the body for me. doing just a little turn, as if someone's got hold of your ribcage and then turn your arms up. Good. Well done. Come back to center, and then we're going to bring the forearms together. So I'm just going to look around so you can still see me, but otherwise I'm just pressing the arms together. Now this can be quite challenging. So we're going to reach the fingertips up and then squeeze the elbows down. I'm going to turn this way just so you can see. We're going to lift the fingertips up, doesn't have to go very high, and then squeeze the elbows down. We're going to do about 3 more here. Lifting the fingertips up and pressing the arms and almost pressing the elbows away from you. And then maybe, if it feels comfortable for the body, to squeeze the elbows down. We're going to do a couple more, reaching up. Good. Squeezing down. I know. 1 more. My arms are aching too. All the way up. And squeezing down. Excellent. Just release the arms. I'm going to turn back to face you. Oh, give the shoulders a little roll. If you've got baby with you, give them a little hug, a little kiss, whatever attention is required right now. I'm going to change the cross of the legs. So you will have habitually sat in a particular way. We always do. We're creatures of habit. So I'm going to take the opposite leg in front. Now it might feel a little weird, but flex at the shins if you can. Flex at the feet, I'm sorry, if you can. Okay, so we're going to repeat all that to the other side. So like I said, you can do this sat in a chair, so this is great for postnatal bodies, but if you're sat at home working today, this could work really well for you as well. So I'm going to bring the opposite hand, so my left hand to my right knee. It's almost like you're just doing this little turn through the body, the other hand behind me. And then make sure you focus on lengthening the exhalation. So if you are feeling particularly not stressed, but there's an underlying sense of tension in the body, that exhalation through the mouth I find helps a lot. So I'm going to turn, so you don't even have to force it, it's just a little rotation towards that shoulder behind. And I didn't share this at the beginning, but do remember just to work with your own body today, whatever's going on for you, work very mindfully, and if anything doesn't feel right, then make sure you hold off from that exercise. Ideally, if you're postnatal as well, we're still in the twist, if you're postnatal, you ideally want to be about 6 weeks before you start this program, and about 12 weeks if you've had a C-section, okay? So you can always watch this first and see what you think. But do follow that advice. Okay, so as we turn, we're just going to roll through the head. So we roll the head and neck. We're going to do this about 4 more times. So as we do, just easing out that tension. It might be that you don't do the twist. If you've just had your baby, you don't want to do the twist, but you could just sit on a chair and just roll the head and neck very gently. Let's take 1 more there. Excellent. So I'm going to keep that hand on towards the knee. The other arm, so I'm kind of turn the body almost back towards the screen. The other arm, I'm going to reach up, out, and over. So although you can't reach my fingertips, see my fingertips, I'm reaching up. And I can bend the arm a little bit. So the elbow almost goes up to the sky and reach the arm over. And I've got hold of the knee, and it's almost like I'm kind of leaning away. You take a few rounds of breath here. The underneath of the body, so think of the side body turning up towards the ceiling. You can look up or down. If you've got baby with you, you can always give them a little wave, a little hi, a little hello, just to let them know that you are enjoying your yoga practice. Good. All right, we come back to center. We're going to repeat that kind of work with the shoulders. So I'm going to turn side on again to you. Ideally, we want to try and draw the forearms together, but they might not come together, okay? So it depends also if we're very strong through the shoulders. Maybe you do a lot of weights at the gym or a manual job where your shoulders are very strong. Often that can prevent the arms from coming together as well. So just work with where the arms feel right. Think of pressing the elbows away. You can take about 5 rounds here. So we reach the fingertips up and then think of drawing them down, but they might not go very far. Okay, it also depends on our body shape. Reaching the fingertips up, and as I lift up, I'm thinking of lifting up through the side body as well, so through the ribs, squeezing them down. I'm going to take 3 more here, maybe marrying it with the breath. Breathing in, fingertips reach, exhaling, pressing the arms together, squeezing elbows down. Let's do 2 more here. Inhale, reaching up, exhale, squeezing down. Last one, I promise. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, squeezing down. Well done. Release the arms, and again, just give the shoulders a little roll, or a big roll up and back. I'm going to do this about 3 or 4 more times. So hopefully you found somewhere quiet in your home or your garden, so you can create this external sanctuary of quiet. But maybe today, as I said at the beginning, you're honouring that sanctuary that you created for your baby to thrive and grow in. Often we can refer to this as the sanctuary as well, this space, baby's home, where he or she resided quietly until they arrived. Well done. Hope that's been okay. Oh, give the shoulders a roll the other way. If you did the shoulders back, just roll them forward about 3 or 4 more times. You can always move the head and neck a little bit. Okay, great. We're going to come on to all 4s now. Actually, we'll do this movement sat first of all, just in case you are doing this practice sat on a chair. I'll show you seated first of all. So if you need to, let's just stretch the legs out. Just give a point and a flex in towards the feet, because we've been sat for a good while now. So just take a moment there. Today's practice is actually created as a seated practice. The reason for this is in yoga, often you'll hear of the chakra system, the energy body. And the root chakra, the legs, is a way of, we want to think of that as connecting to the earth. So sometimes if we're a lot in the head, got a lot going on, the energy can be up here. We want to ground the energy in towards the legs. So standing postures are very good, but today we're doing all the postures on the floor. Let's just give that ankle a little roll. It also means you don't need any equipment for this practice. I've not even got leggings on today, I've just got these looser trousers on. So you don't need a yoga outfit or anything like that. You can just do this in your regular clothes or your pyjamas if you practice this earlier in the day or in the evening. Okay, great. So I'm going to show you side on. So if you're sat on a chair, of course, you can just practice this with your feet on the floor. There's 2 poses, and in yoga we normally refer to them as cat and cow. All yoga poses have names. So I'm going to bring my hands to my knees. You can have baby in front of you if you're working with them today, and just give them lots of love and lots of kisses. Otherwise, hands to the knee, and I'm going to draw the belly in and curl the body in. So I'm going to exaggerate a little bit just so you can see. So that's cat, and then the reverse is cow. So I want to think of heart drawing forward, creating a little bit of space, and sometimes I think of kind of drawing the shoulder blades together. Let's move again, rolling in. You can say hi to baby, and then drawing the heart forward. So take it at quite a gentle pace. Sometimes the lower back can get a little tense during pregnancy because the weight is obviously forward. Postnatally, sometimes the lower back can get a little tender, a little sore if you're carrying the heavy car seats and things like that. So just very gently moving through the pelvis. Again, if you've had surgery, if you've had a C-section, Just making sure that you've been cleared by your doctor or your practitioner that you can do movement. Okay, we're going to take 2 more here, curling in. And this is a great practice for anybody. So maybe if you've got someone at home with you, or you can share this with someone, you can watch along at the same time. Okay, coming back to centre. So you can take a few more rounds like that, sat upright. Otherwise, we're going to do this on hands and knees. We did this last week as well. So if you don't have a yoga mat or you're somewhere where you need something, just put a little blanket or cushion or your jacket underneath your knees. You can have baby on the mat if you wish. So you can place them under the mat. Again, I'm going to just work today focusing on your body though. So I've got hands on the floor and my knees are on the floor. I'm going to press into the shins, so that's between the knees and the ankle. Same movement that we did sat. So I press through the hands, through the knees, curl in. And then keep that awareness within. So keep the belly drawing in, heart lifts and the tailbones, finger bum, it's kind of sticking up in the air. We move again. Curling in, shoulder blades widening almost, and then looking forward. But think of the heart leading the movement rather than the head. Let's take about 4 more here. So a very relatively slow practice today. If we think of building a sanctuary, if finding somewhere quiet, we want to make sure that the energy is earthed. We want to be able to think clearly and look after ourselves. That's what this is all about. The more we look after ourselves, the more we can look after others. Let's take 2 more here. Arching in towards the spine, maybe slightly bigger now. Think of a cat when it stretches in the morning. And then the heart lifts. This is our last one here. Curling, curling, curling. And then looking forward. Well done. We're going to come back to kneeling as long as the knees feel all right. You can have hand on towards baby, or maybe just both hands up towards the heart and close the eyes. We pause briefly. And as you sit, maybe again drawing upon the words from that blessing. And that last line, bless yourself for being you. So maybe just letting go of what's happened today that hasn't gone to plan. If you haven't begun the projects or the tasks or any of the jobs that you've got on your list, let that go. And take a moment to bless yourself for being you. A friend of mine, Amy Rose, used to always say to me at work, everything is perfect exactly as it is. And that always used to calm me down if I was off track and going nowhere fast with my day. Okay, we're going to come back into cat stretch, but we're going to take it from one side to the other. So if you're not sure, I'll do this with you. So I'm going to bring my hands back onto the floor, knees back onto the floor. If you don't want to kneel, then you can just take this as a side stretch. You can take both hands up. So for example, I'll just show you here, you can stretch up and over as such. If you don't want to be on hands and knees if wrists are sore. Otherwise we're on hands and knees. So I'm going to arch the spine and I'll take my hands up this way first of all. We'll take my hands off the mat and then a little stretch back. But we're going to move with it. So we come up, come back to centre and then hands off to the other side. Press the shins down and stretch back. Good. Come all the way back up, come forward and to the other side. We're going to take a few on each side, stretching back. Again, you can have baby on the mat. Every time you go from side to side, you can give him or her a little kiss. And then stretching back. Let's do 1 more on each side before we work in towards the legs a little bit and stretching back. Good. Last one here. Forward. You can always hold these if you don't want to move like I am. And stretching back. Good. Well done. Okay, we're going to do a little bit for the legs now. So I'm going to take my right foot forward into a lunge. Again, support the knee if you need to. So you can probably see that I'm going to bend in towards this front knee, okay? You might not go, you might be more back a little bit, or you might be deeper. I'm actually going to go slightly deep into lunge just so you can see my face as well, otherwise it disappears off the screen. Now from here, if you've got yoga blocks, you can use them, otherwise hands towards the floor, this will help a little bit. I'm going to tuck the back toes under, and again, be very mindful with the body. If you're a more flexible body, don't go to your maximum stretch here. As I press back, I'm going to walk the hands back, draw the toes of that front foot towards me and sit back in towards the toes of that back foot. Come forward, hands towards the floor, into the lunge, heart lifts, and then walking the hands back in towards that hamstring stretch. Good. We're going to do one more here. Sometimes I kind of walk the fingertips forward, stretching and lifting up. That noise you could hear is that very noisy blackbird I mentioned at the beginning of class, building their nests, and reversing back. Good. We're going to make this our last one. So walking the fingertips forward, the heart lifts. Good. And coming back to centre. Excellent. Just bring that knee back behind you. And let's take the other side. So if you are practicing this on a chair and you don't want to come into lunges, then you can simply hold the back of the leg. So for example, if I was sat on a chair right now, I could hold the back of the leg, draw the knee in and stretch the leg. Draw the knee in and stretch the leg. So if you're sat up on a chair, just have the other foot obviously on the floor, draw the knee in and stretch the leg. And you can do that sat at your desk, or if you're sat at your home and you don't want to sit on the floor. Okay, so we've got the other foot forward, fingertips to the floor. Now I often take that foot a little wider. So I'm going to tuck the toes on the back foot and then reverse the body back. These toes draw towards me. Again, fingertips forward and then reversing back. Now, as I said, I can reach the floor at the moment, but often I can't. So you can have blocks with you, or you can just have hands on towards the legs. The only thing is it's a little harder with the balance. But if you don't want to reach the floor, you can draw back as such. Let's take a couple more here. You can always have baby there, giving him or her a little kiss between sides, or a little tickle. Coming forward. Good, and reversing back. So this is a great one if you do a lot of walking or running with fit mums as well, just to stretching towards the hamstrings, and it gets towards the toes as well. You can probably feel that. Great. Let's bring that foot back. Take the knees wide. You can use a blanket under the head if you wish, or underneath the sit bones. And then baby can be there if you wish. We're going to take a little forward fold into child's pose. If you're doing this practice on the chair, you can just fold forward. Let the body relax over the legs. Otherwise, bringing the head towards the hands or towards the mat. And take in about 3 rounds of breath here. So breathing quite deep in towards the body. If baby is there, you can give their feet a little kiss. Let's take one more there. And gently, maybe even through the mouth, letting the breath go. Well done. Coming back up to seated. Okay, so I'm going to just again use the blanket. We're going to close class together, and then if you have time, I recommend just having a little rest after the practice. And that rest might look like staying on your sofa, lying on the grass, relaxing on the floor, maybe snuggling up to baby for a little 10-minute power nap. But I really recommend that after we finish. Okay, so I'm going to close the practice with you. I'm going to sit cross-legged, but again, sit on your chair with holding baby or without, whichever works best for you. Spine quite tall, soft through the eyes. You can have them closed if you wish. And noticing that sanctuary, the space of your home or wherever you are right now, has it softened and quietened a little bit? Do you feel a little bit more connected to the earth, even if it's just for a few minutes of your day? Yoga has the ability to shift the energy, to give us a moment or two just to stop and have a little bit of quiet time in this sanctuary of motherhood. I'm going to close again with that blessing. Before you begin your practice, or perhaps it's something else you've got on your list today, bless yourself. Bless all of your past, your mistakes, your triumphs, all the decisions you have made to get to this point. Bless the times that you fell to your knees and the times you rose above yourself. Bless all of these moments. Bless this moment pregnant with possibility, hope and openness. Bless yourself for showing up here to practice, to learn, to grow and evolve. Bless yourself for trying no matter what the circumstances are. You are doing your best. Bless your courage, your strength. Bless all of your future, the lands and experiences that lay before you, the relationships that you are yet to have. Bless all of the outcomes of all the choices you make today, knowing that you are being guided and looked after. Bless all parts of yourself, all the sweetness, all the struggles. Bless yourself for being you. Thank you for practicing with me and Fit Mums. I look forward to seeing you next week here on Facebook Live. Please comment and share. Let us know how you get on with the practice. This is for anybody and everybody, although created for mamas. So namaste, thank you for joining me. Remember, if you can, have a little rest. Lie down, shut the eyes if it's possible at all. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye everybody.